I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, 155 episodes down today. Clem Snide 2010. This thing came out like a month ago. The Meat of Life. I like Clem Snide. I know you like Clem Snide.
Yeah.
Kind of an alternative indie country band.
We know the band Fun likes Clem Snide.
Yeah, they like Clem Snide a lot
Had a good
too.
conversation with them about that.
And this album, The Meat of Life, is kind of, you see the band kind of going for some more kind of indie country rock outs, which are cool. Now, honestly, those are my favorite parts of this album.
Yeah.
And if you're going to compare this, I know we were talking, you know, we compare this to the Mountain Goats. Band of Horses would be a great band to compare this to. But even like Plants and Animals, The Decemberists.
Yeah. There's definitely some parts in there that remind me of Plants and Animals.
Now keep in mind, this is the definition of indie. This is underproduced, underwritten. It's not very ambitious, which is going to be my main criticism of the album. But it presents a lot of really cool organic music that has value, and we need this in music today. And it's really cool to hear an artist still doing it. Yeah.
Very real, very personal.
Yeah, Plants and Animals, that'd be a good one to compare to. I have that written down.
Yeah.
The Neil Young-esque sides of things. But Tom, what'd you think of The Meat of Life?
It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think that there's not really a horrible track on here. There's not much bad going on, but there's just not much going on.
That's a good point.
It's very simple. There's just kind of, I think that's probably the best way to put it.
The lead singer has a sweet name. I just want to say it. I'm going to make it a test. It's E-E-F. Barzilay, or Bayerzilay or something. Yves Bayerzilay. I mean, that's an awesome name, and he's kind of a quirky-looking guy. I got a couple of really indie videos of a couple of these songs down there that just capture. Like, I love how indie the video is because it complements the music so well.
He's a good vocalist.
Yeah,
and he's a good lyricist. I like how this album jumps right into it. Right away, he starts singing.
Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, it's great. He has this kind of Isaac Brock type lisp. If you ever listen to Modest Mouse, you know that Isaac Brock, very quirky vocalist, you know, has a lot of that kind of lisp that kind of sets him apart, and I get that here. Yet his regular voice sounds a little bit more like John Darnielle from Modest Mouse.
Your shirt, I just realized what shirt you were wearing. School lunch does rock.
Yeah, I love it.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
But the lyrics are very good. The lyrics are very fitting. The lyrics are actually one of the things that I think melds this album together, which you don't get a lot. So that's very commendable.
Yeah, definitely.
For instance, I mean, the album's called The Meat of Life. There's a title track, The Meat of Life, but then he also says that again in Forgive Me Love, track 6. So go watch our Philosophies episode about track titles and album titles and how that all comes into play. Great example of that. Yeah. But there are a lot of little gems of lyrics that stick out. One of my favorites, I don't remember what song this is from now, but one of my favorites is, like censored porn, we compromise. I thought that was kind of nice.
That might be in Forgive Me Love.
Really?
Yeah.
Little things like that are just kind of cute, kind of fun. Yet still thoughtful, you know, there's still something to that, and you get that a lot through this album. To tell you the truth, the one that I didn't like that for was the last track, Anita. I found to be a little obnoxious. Anita, I need ya. Like, that was stretching it for me.
Yeah.
It's still a good song, but I felt like they could have ended it a little better, maybe. To tell you the truth, I'll go out there and say I don't know what they should have done, so it's kind of an empty criticism because I don't really have much suggestion of how. I think it's just that little thing that bothered me. Yeah. Overall, though, the rock out parts I think are some of the best parts of this album, and there just needs to be more of them. The back half, well, maybe not even the back half, but like the last 4 tracks, Please through Anita, have a lot of cool strings, a lot of cool violin parts, like Songs for Mary, track 10. That's one of my favorite tracks just because it's got this sweet violin melody and it comes in with a harmony for it, and it's very beautiful. But there's just, it drags a little bit because those rock out parts, like in track 3, The Meat of Life, and track 8, BFF, and I think you get a little bit of that in track 4, I Got High. I think those are some of the most gripping parts of the album. And I wish, you know, I don't know if they need to be spread out a little more, if there just needed to be more of them, but the ratio seems a little off.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was a nice addition to the sound. Not that they haven't done it before. It was just definitely more prevalent on the Meat of Life, and I wanted to see more of that. I enjoyed the songwriting on this album. I love the just reverb guitar, electric guitar. Yeah. I think that sounds really classy, and with his vocals and lyrics and the drums, and I think that the indie production really just gives this shiny package to it that I really like, and I'm way into that sound. The lyrics, the moods, the production styles, I think there's a lot of good things going on in this album. I think sometimes, though, it's not quite as polished and perfected as that it could be. Some of the songs drag on. I agree with Tom. The front half of this album is better than the back half. It doesn't go on too long. It's just I think that some of the songs are just underdeveloped.
Yeah, it just sounds a little forced. And you know, this is a very prolific band.
This is their 7th release.
And they come out with albums very often. And I hate to say this because I really want to encourage bands to come out with things more often because I hate it when they just sit around for 5 years and they come out with something subpar. But I would rather these guys wait a little longer and develop the songs a little more, because that's the problem. While the ideas are obviously good, they just don't feel fleshed out. They just feel a little empty and lacking.
This feels like a collection of 12 little ditties that just got recorded and then put together on an album.
Yeah.
It really does. And so what I think is the biggest fault of this, of the Meat of Life, is that it can only accomplish what it set out to do. The scope is so narrow.
It's very limited.
And they do a good job, but it's so limited that they can't really break into something really cool or really revolutionary. I mean, it's just kind of that, which is good. It's commendable, but it's nothing that's going to blow you away.
Yeah.
Still, I would recommend this. I'm going to go, after picking a couple tracks here, I'm going to pick track 2, Denise. I love that song. Track 3, The Meat of Life, is clearly, I think, the best song on this album. And track 7, Stony. I like those 3 songs. Real quick, what do you want?
I'm going to go tracks 3 and 4, The Meat of Life, and I Got High, and then track 10, Songs for Mary.
Yeah, good songs. I mean, this album is solid. I just think that a little bit more work and it would have been even better. I'm going to go straight 69 on this. I like that. I like this album.
I was going to go 67.
67 and 69. It's good. So, yeah, definitely check that out. And tell us what you think. If you've First of all, have you heard of Clem Snide? Because not many people have. And I really do.
They're a good band. They got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and I really do think that a lot of people would like Clem Snide if they were out there more. So, if you've heard of them, then let us know what you think of The Meat of Life. And do you like the rock out parts? Do you want to see more rock out? I mean, I do.
I do.
I mean, I think that they do it well. So tell us what you think at www.velocitiesandmusic.com. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.